Okay, sure. I just wanted to say that in talking about God's providence, this story isn't my story. I'm taking it from my mom's experience. God rest her soul, but she knew how to trust in God's providence. So, from her example, I hope we can learn. She lived in Dover, Delaware, and was involved with a group of brothers and sisters under the order of the Alliance of the Two Hearts.
Hmm.
And they came to Dover with really nothing, and just rented a townhouse, a couple of townhouses, and they were living there. Things were pretty crammed and inconvenient. My mom was involved in their ministry and also took food to them and treats when they could have them on Sundays and feast days and such. But they really were praying for a place to live. And lo and behold, a doctor and his wife heard about the ministry through the church and began to get involved with them. And they bought a huge house, more like a mansion, estate for the ministry.
Wow.
And this all came through prayer. And my mom was just telling me, see, this is what happens when you trust in God's providence and trust in Him. Things will happen. So that was just a wow moment for me.
And was that
in my life?
Was there a timing there? Were they praying for that, and then this benefactor came along type thing?
Yes, definitely. They were praying probably about a year. It was a little while. Didn't happen overnight.
Sure.
But this was the answer to their prayers above and beyond, because the land that they received from the purchase of this home, they were able to farm the land, provide food for themselves. They had more room to take more brothers in. So the ministry grew just from this one home that they were provided.
Wow. That's a fantastic story. Have you ever heard the story about how Mother Angelica got started with her first big set of satellite equipment by any chance?
I remember part of that story. I think you have to refresh my memory, but I
do
remember she.
Yeah, let me tell you the quick tidbit. I think your phone's going out again, but I'll start to tell you.
Okay.
It's an amazing story. Of course, Mother Angelica started EWTN. She's a huge inspiration to me and many Catholics in evangelization. She's the queen of evangelization under our Blessed Mother. She needed expensive satellite equipment that costs, I think the first piece of equipment is over $1 million. You got to remember this is back in the 80s, so $1 million today would have been probably $15-20 million of how expensive technology equipment is today. And so she would go in front of the Blessed Sacrament and pray and say, Lord, in a humble way, she would say, how am I going to start up? You put on my heart, Lord, how am I going to start up this ministry? I know nothing about television. I know nothing about satellites. I know nothing about, cameras, anything. And miraculously enough, she literally gets up out of the chapel, the Blessed Sacrament, walks out, and she had not asked anyone, like any temporal person. This is all in private prayer to her Lord. This is in her book by Raymond Arroyo, by the way, this story. She gets up, walks out of the Adoration Chapel, and boom, a stranger walks up to her and hands her a check for the exact amount of the equipment that they needed, pretty much to the dollar, to get that satellite equipment in. And once again, just like I read earlier in the story you told, keeping God first, not worrying, going to God, relaxing, letting the time go by. Like you said, 1 year. For some people, it's instant. For the holiest ones, maybe we're not at the level probably of Mother Angelica. For the holiest ones, they get things pretty. I remember I used to hear about Padre Pio would pray for things, and things would happen almost instantly with him. So I think the holier you are, maybe the faster God acts. But
that could be.
Yeah, it could be. That's just Andrew Rourke's speculation. It's not dogma or anything with the Catholic Church. It's the late talking out loud here in no official capacity. But yeah, that's an amazing story that you told me. I really appreciate the call, and it's so cool to put a voice to a friend's mother, and I really appreciate you. Your daughter's awesome.
Well, you are welcome. And one of these days we'll meet in person. But in the meantime, keep going. I think you're doing a great thing here, and I hope you have much success in your show.
Absolutely. God bless you. Have a wonderful night.
God bless you. You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.